I never thought the person who would break my heart the most would be the one I carried for 9 months. My name is Sarah, and for the last 16 years, my daughter Emma has been my entire world. After her father walked out on us 7 years ago, it was just the two of us against everything. I worked 2 jobs so she could have the life I never did. I gave up my dreams, my sleep, my peace, everything, just to see her smile. Lately though, something felt off. Emma had always been my good girl. Sweet, responsible, the kind of daughter who would hug me every night and say, "I love you, Mom." But over the past few months, she became distant, quiet, secretive. It started with small things. She began asking for the garage keys every single evening. "Mom, I need the garage keys. I'm working on a school project. Mom, can I have the keys again? I left my stuff out there." At first, I didn't think much of it. She was 17. Teenagers go through phases, right? I told myself she was just growing up. But deep down, a mother's intuition is never wrong. Every time I handed her those keys, something in my stomach twisted. I tried to brush it off. I even laughed about it with my sister on the phone. "Emma's suddenly obsessed with that old garage," I said. But the more she asked, the heavier my heart felt. Then came the nights I heard soft footsteps after midnight. The garage door creaking ever so slightly. I told myself it was just my imagination. Until the night I couldn't ignore it anymore. It was 2:47 a.m. when I quietly got out of bed. My hands were shaking as I slipped on my robe and tiptoed downstairs. The house was completely silent, except for faint voices coming from the garage. I stood at the door, heart pounding in my throat. I slowly turned the handle and pushed it open, just enough to see inside. What I saw at 3 a.m. shattered everything I thought I knew about my daughter. There she was, my Emma, standing under the dim garage light, whispering to someone. And that someone was her father. The man who had cheated on me, abandoned us, and disappeared for years without a single call on her birthday. He was back, and my own daughter had been helping him. I stood there frozen, listening as Emma whispered, "Dad, I got the last of Mom's savings from the hidden box like you asked." She still doesn't suspect anything. My world spun. The betrayal hit me like a knife in the chest. All those nights she asked for the garage keys weren't for school projects. She had been sneaking her father into our garage, giving him access to tools, old jewelry I kept stored, and worst of all, the emergency cash I had hidden for us. Tears burned my eyes as I watched the man who destroyed our family hug my daughter like he was the victim. He was feeding her lies, telling her I was the reason he left, that I had kept them apart, that I was selfish. And she believed him. I wanted to scream. I wanted to burst in and demand answers. But I couldn't move. My legs felt like they were made of stone. The pain was so deep, so raw. This was my baby girl. The child I had sacrificed everything for. And she had chosen him. For days after that night, I pretended everything was normal. But inside, I was breaking. Every, "I love you, Mom," from her lips now felt like poison. Every time she asked for the garage keys again, I handed them over with a smile while my heart bled. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. The betrayal consumed me. How long had this been going on? How much had she already given him? And how could the little girl I raised turn against me so easily? But pain has a strange way of turning into something else. Slowly, the tears stopped. The heartbreak turned into cold, quiet anger. I realized I had a choice: stay broken, or become unbreakable. I decided to stop being the victim. It was time for the truth to come out. I started recording everything. Every late-night conversation in the garage. Every whisper. Every time money or items went missing. I gathered proof quietly, like a mother who had finally woken up. Then, on the night I knew he would come again, I didn't just watch. I waited until they were both inside the garage, then I stepped in with my phone recording and the garage lights blazing. The look on both their faces when they saw me standing there will stay with me forever. "Emma," I said, my voice shaking but strong, "I trusted you. I gave you everything, and you chose to betray me for the man who left us with nothing." She tried to explain. She cried. She said he manipulated her, that he made her feel guilty. But the damage was done. I looked at her father and said the words I had waited years to say: "You are no longer welcome in our lives. If you ever come near my daughter or my home again, these recordings go straight to the police." I changed the locks the very next morning. I moved my savings to a new account. And most painfully, I sat Emma down and told her she had broken something between us that would take years to heal, if it ever could. She begged for forgiveness. Part of me wanted to hold her. But I knew she needed to face the consequences of her choices. Today, I stand stronger, wiser. I learned the hardest lesson of my life. Sometimes the deepest betrayals come from the people we love most. But even then, we have the power to protect our peace. If you're watching this and you feel betrayed by someone you love, remember this: your love should never cost you your dignity. Trust your instincts, protect your heart, and never be afraid to choose yourself when everything falls apart. Because in the end, the only person who can truly save you is you.